Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's conversation, Future Proofing Your Career, Mastering the Communication Skills That AI Can't Replace. I'm your host, Brittany Knowles, and I'm excited to have you here today. The conversation about AI is often focused on the tech, but today we're moving past the hype and focusing on the core abilities that truly drive success. We'll be looking at the human-centric skills that are becoming more valuable, not less, and what employers are prioritizing in 2026. This is about giving you the roadmap to future proofing your career. We're currently recording this webinar to ensure accessibility for all participants. If you would like to enable closed captioning, click more in the bottom right of your screen, then select captions and show captions. All resources discussed today and the recording will be emailed to you after the event. I love to repeat this for all those in the background. All resources discussed today and the recording will be emailed to you after the event. Inevitably, we get that question. All right. Before we get started, I want to recognize each and every one of you who chose to be here today. Just by being here, you're already investing in you, your skills, your growth, your future. If you're already an IBM SkillsBuild learner, today's webinar counts as a learning activity, y'all. I'm so excited about that. I am so excited about that. So many are wondering, what do I start with? This is the opportunity today. Make sure that you mark this as complete. Learners tell us all the time how they really value being able to look back and see all the courses and investments they put towards themselves. This is about honoring your progress. And we love that you get to capture that effort and give yourself credit for it. All right. And if you're new to IBM SkillsBuild, welcome to the family. It's a free learning platform we'll share so that you can explore and get started. So you can click on the link to today's webinar learning activity, which my colleague Kim is putting into the chat. Make sure to create an IBM SkillsBuild account if you haven't done so already. You don't want to miss out on all the learning and awesomeness that happens. When we're done with today's webinar, you're going to hit mark complete, and that's it. While you're on the site, we recommend today a look at least 1,000 courses that are available on the SkillsBuild catalog. Don't worry if you didn't catch it this time around. I'll briefly go over it at the end as well. It'll be sent in our post-event email this afternoon. We are honored to welcome an amazing group of panelists, Suj, Sonia, and Lily, with lived experiences and professional expertise in career readiness, talent acquisition, and workforce development. They'll share powerful practical insights on how to build, demonstrate, and articulate the soft skills employers value most. Let's dive in. My name is Brittany, as I've already mentioned. My pronouns are she, her, and hers, and I am the Learning and Development Specialist here at Career Circle, where skills go to work. I have black hair, brown eyes, and I'm wearing shades of green, everyone. All right. I'm excited to be here with this amazing group of panelists. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce our amazing panelists. Could each of you please provide a descriptive introduction and share a bit about yourself? Lily, why don't you start us off?
Sure. Thank you, Brittany. What an energetic intro. It's such a pleasure to be here today. Hello, everybody. My name is Lily Reiseball, and my pronouns are she, her, and hers. I currently work at IBM as the director responsible for enterprise AI strategy. I've got dark blonde hair and hazel eyes, and today I'm wearing kind of this multicolored black and blue top. I'm currently sitting in Raleigh, North Carolina, and right off the top, I'm super excited to be here today with everybody.
Thank you so much, Lily. We're so excited to have you here. Suj?
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Suj Perepa, and my pronouns are she, her, and hers. And I am a distinguished engineer, and I specialize in AI and machine learning technologies. I am with IBM. IBM is lucky to have me, and I'm lucky to have Sonia and Lily. Now, I am sitting in Raleigh along with Lily. This is a great place to be in the RTP. And I'm in a conference room, so I have the privacy. And I have black hair and black eyes, but there are shoots of gray proving that I'm a very wise woman. So I'm so happy to be here today. Thank you. Back to you.
I love what you said about your grade. You know what I like to call it? Glitter. Right? Like I have some right in the front. It's all welcome to the club. I'm so happy to be a part. All right, Sonia, please introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. And sorry, I'm not going to get that kind of high energy from me. I'm recovering from the flu. But my name is Sonia Malik, and my pronouns are she, her, and hers. I currently work at IBM, and I've been here for 30 years. I am the Global Program Director for IBM SkillsBuild. And my team develops all the content and credentials that you all so love. Um, I have brown hair, which I've been coloring since I've been 18, and brown eyes. And I am wearing, I think, a magenta sweatshirt, not quite sure. And unfortunately, I got stuck in the blizzard and I'm unable to get home. So I am stuck in transit in Chicago, but I'm super excited to be here. My home is Boston, otherwise.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for being here. You had numerous reasons not to be stuck in a blizzard and recovering from the flu. And so we appreciate you so much for taking the time to be with us. And I love it. I love it. Today is going to be so exciting. All right, we're going to get started with the first question, and it's for everyone. So I'm going to allow you all to jump right on in like popcorn. All right. We often hear that AI is taking over tasks. From your perspective, what is one specific human element of your job that AI has actually made more important rather than replacing it? And this is for everyone.
I can take it.
Yes,
So,
Suj.
I think, it's very important we talk about this. This is a great starting question. If I have to say it in one sentence, what the impact of AI in the last 1 decade, I would say leveraging AI for automating the manual tasks. Think big numbers, scaling them, and also at speed, right? If I have to give you an impact of the AI in the last 1 decade, AI has impacted our economy with about $257 billion, right? That's a big number. And where did we achieve all these benefits from? It is mostly from automating the manual tasks, boosting the productivity, right? And processing massive amounts of data. All the tasks that it takes years and years for humans to do, we have leveraged AI to do it much faster. So think of two things when it comes to AI, that is automating the manual tasks and repetitive tasks, but doing it with speed and accuracy. Now, let me put some more context around that AI. If you remember, your day-to-day use of different applications or different websites that you go to, services you go to, almost all of them have the assistants. They have been taking these calls. The assistants, the digital assistants have been taking thousands of calls every day without getting tired and giving you the same consistent services, right? Think about using AI for drug discovery. Think about processing the earth data to understand how the environment is changing, right? Think of these things. So if you can actually get it down to your personal use at work, you can think of automating your tasks that you don't want to do anymore. You want to do higher level work, then that's where you use AI. The impact of AI is going to be here. I just told you about $257 billion with traditional AI. With Gen AI, it is going to be $16 trillion in the next 4 years. So I want you to think that AI is going to be here, and I want you to get on that bandwagon of leveraging AI, being part of it, right? So 3 things I would say you should do. And this is the teacher in me and, making a recommendation. Be AI fluent, be AI literate. Understand what is AI, what it can do for you, and how you can shape it. That's what I want you to understand. Data fluency. AI is not going to work on its own. AI needs a lot of data. So understand your data, how to keep it safe, how to keep it clean, etc. Right? And the third one is critical thinking. I think that is another aspect that I want you to not lose. Just because we have all these social media applications and cell phones, etc., we still have to retain our intellectual capacities and human ingenuity. So think of those things. So going back to your question, AI is very critical for us to process, to automate several tasks that we have around us.
Thank you so much, Suj. Sonia?
Yeah, I was going to just pick up exactly where Suj left off, right? So when I think of the human element, right? I mean, as we're talking about it, I think basic tech skills are table stakes now. Everyone needs them. For me, it's really contextual judgment, So picking up on the critical thinking piece that Suj just ended on, I saw some fantastic examples in the chat for summarizing meetings, taking notes, things like that. Those are great, and those really help with productivity. But when you're using AI for research or you're using AI to do some higher level thinking tasks for you, it's very easy to just get reliant on the AI and let it do it for you. But a word of caution here, that's where your critical thinking, your context, your judgment comes into play because you are the subject matter expert for that particular scenario, whatever it might be. So always make sure that you're layering on that contextual judgment based on all the knowledge and experience that you have to validate what AI is giving you. So that's the I in AI. Lily, I'll hand it over to you.
Love that. I'd love to build on that. And as I watched, the chat also some great examples and listened to you and Suj kind of talk about your perspectives. I'm kind of sad that you're asking us for just one human element, Brittany, because so much comes up, right? When you ask this kind of question in this way, right away things stand out. Communication, navigating change, growth mindset, judgment, right? But as I thought about this, like one thing that I want to zero in on, and I think it builds a little bit on what you were saying as well, Sonia. It's something that's been top of mind, and that's like this kind of concept of like quality or standards orientation, right? So probably many of you have been reading the articles about work slop, right, in the era of AI. And like I fundamentally believe AI is going to be an accelerator for all of us. It's going to make us all better and faster, right? But that human element of attention to detail or treating something that you produce as something that's going to have your name on it, right? And caring about that, having that pride of ownership and personal accountability. Um, I think is going to be really important. And then I think that for our audience here today, I think this is a skill that, and I hope, right, that many of us can reach into the memory banks and be able to talk about during an interview as an example from a previous experience of how your pride of ownership, your attention to detail, your quality resulted in previous project success. And that's something that's going to be, I think, differentiating from AI.
Absolutely, absolutely. So much gets lost in the hype of AI. And so to be able to see the importance of what AI, what limitations it has, and what we still need to bring to the table is awesome to hear. My second question is for you, Sonia and Lily. How can an entry-level candidate demonstrate a leadership mindset, even if they haven't held a leadership title yet?
Thank you, Brittany. And I'm so glad you talked about a mindset because so often when we talk about leadership, everyone automatically thinks about leadership being equivalent to people management. And that's not true. I mean, leadership, yes, as you grow up the ranks and things like that, leadership may also come with people management. But leadership is really all about initiative and ownership, picking up on what Lily had talked about. So, even as an entry level, in fact, people who are in school and college, you demonstrate leadership as being counselors, as being team captains, you demonstrate leadership as leading clubs. Or even if you are on a team project and you're coordinating things, that is leadership. And so I think we really have to think about leadership is about initiative and it's about evidence. So when I think about leadership as an entry level person, I'd probably just have a couple of things that I would say. One, own your own learning. Don't wait to be trained. As an entry level, take the initiative, learn about the business, learn about the team, learn about the people. That's really great. Secondly, um, solve problems before being asked. Like if you see something, you identify a problem, don't be scared. I mean, yes, of course, don't go off track and do something completely different. But if you see something, say it and check in with maybe your supervisor or someone and say, hey, I noticed this particular task was taking 3 hours, but I used this tool yesterday and I think we could cut it down significantly. So I think that would really be helpful. And the third thing is always make sure that you're demonstrating outcomes, right? Just effort does not get really rewarded, right? So make sure that you're hitting outcomes. Lily, over to you.
Yeah, oh, thank you, Sonia. I'd love to build on what you said. And I kind of think of it from two perspectives from me, but very, very similar to some of the things that you said. So my two perspectives are like as somebody who interviews candidates, but also from past experience and myself interviewing for different job roles and trying to display, skills that perhaps I didn't yet have experience in. So when I'm evaluating somebody early in their career, I'm not looking necessarily for a title or specific experience, right? Similar to what Sonia was sharing, I'm looking for evidence that they cared enough about something and about an outcome and that they took ownership. Even perhaps like if it wasn't maybe part of their job, but they stepped up to do it, right? Like some of the examples that Sonia shared, right? And that can be from a work project or a student club or a volunteer role, right? And so what I'm looking for is like, did you notice a problem? Did you say something about it? Did you try to solve it? Did you try to make the people around you better, perhaps, versus just yourself? Um, how did you behave under pressure? Right? And I think those kinds of things can be very visible in an interview. And those are behaviors that you learn. So, Sonia, I think you said, leadership is about initiative and evidence. I would add to that, it's a behavior. I think, kind of stop underselling your experiences just because they fall into certain categories of our lives, right? Think about your full range of experiences. And I'll give you a personal experience. So this is from early on in my career. I was taking project management courses, but I had no formal project management experience yet. And at the same time, I was planning my wedding. So I was coordinating vendors and managing timelines and keeping a lot of opinionated people aligned, right, We all know what that's like. And trying to get everybody, on the same page. And we had a fixed deadline, and real consequences if something went wrong, right? And I started using that in interviews. And it wasn't to be cute, right? It really was a genuine example of applied skills. And it landed. And so, that's why I say, really the experiences that you're perhaps discounting as not real work, maybe exactly the proof that somebody's looking for, right? So you have to be willing to kind of zoom out and think about your end-to-end experiences, make that connection, on what leadership is, for others, because nobody else is going to do it for you. You have to be the one that's presenting yourself in that way.
Wow. I am kicking myself that we didn't have this panel 20 years ago when I was early talent. Okay. My goodness, where I would be right now with that advice. That is so amazing. Thank you so much. Suj, the next question is for you. Technical
Okay.
skills now. Oh, was someone saying something?
No, I said, okay, I'm ready.
Okay. Okay, didn't want to miss if you wanted to add a little something to that. So the question is, technical skills now have a much shorter half-life. How do you personally stay future ready without
Mhm.
feeling overwhelmed by the pace of change? Ooh, this is good. I want to hear
Okay.
this.
Okay. Thank you for the question. By the way, half-life means when the technical skills become obsolete very quickly because of the technology is changing so quickly, and the skills that you gain, the learning skills tool skills that you learn, they are like, becoming obsolete very quickly. Just FYI. This is a very important question. Let's stay away from the skills, right? What I want to recommend and advise is based on by drawing from my own life, right? I have seen so many technologies change since I was a software engineer, right? Two things that I did consistently. One is reskilling myself. As the technologies are changing, you want to look ahead at the emerging technologies and go understand, have that feeling of sense of wonderment is very important, right? To see what is the technology, I want to understand that, and being prepared. So reskilling yourself is very important, and reinventing yourself, right? We are human beings. We have 1,000 and 1,000,000 qualities that we have. We have to tap into all of them, not just doing one or two things and limiting ourselves. We should not be obsolete like the technical skills. We have a full shelf life, right? So, and this has to be a lifetime habit, right? So by drawing into that, I came up with a very simple advice that I would like to share, and I hope people would agree with me. A, B, and C. Number one, A is for adaptability, right? Changing with the times, changing the technologies, improving your skills. Like Lily went with project management. She needed to do that. And, she drew upon those skills and she went ahead and did that. Sometimes you are in a situation where you have some skills, but nobody else is there to jump in, take the initiative and do that. That kind of adaptability, but you have to do it faster with AI and these newer technologies. B, for lack of a lackluster word, I use the word build. Building is about applying, right? The skills that you have learned. Remember what Sonia just said, that outcomes, delivering those outcomes. You can only deliver those outcomes by building what you have learned, putting it into practice. So adaptability, changing with the times, learning new skills, lifelong, and building, applying your skills. And this number one, C, the third one is C. I'm repeating myself, critical thinking. It is a gift that humans have that nobody else has. We need to depend on that. Critical thinking is very important because you are not following the herd mentality. You are thinking through as to why this is good, why something can be done better, so you can have an improved decision making, improved analytical thinking, and so on. So these are very important ones. Now, I want to point to, there is a beautiful TED talk on YouTube. I want you to check it out. It's called Learning Through Wonder. It's a beautiful, inspiring video. Check it out, because I believe in learning with not passive learning, but learning with an inquisitive mind is very important, right? That is when you learn much faster. And I also want us to go from, when it comes to learning, learning is difficult. I have to be very frank, right? If you ask me to come and, go learn crochet, I'm not going to jump at it, right? If it is something new. So I think instead of considering it a chore, I would say, oh, this is interesting how it is done. So if I learn it, what are some of the things I can do? So that inquisitive mind, eagerness to learn, curiosity is very important for learning. It completely shifts the mindset, right? So don't consider learning a chore, but think about it. And when you are learning, we are all humans, we love awards and rewards. So keep rewarding yourself when you are learning something new, when you are applying it, pat yourself in the back, right? Self-advocate yourself, show it, your work to others, and make it like a community learning and so on. But so I'm trying to simplify, this is a lifelong learning, right? 25, 35 years of learning. Think about ABC, adaptability, building and applying your learning, and staying with your critical thinking.
I love that. I was going to repeat that for you because I love that acronym. Adaptability, building upon your skills, critical thinking. And then you said eagerness and curiosity. We flip that is ABCCE. Okay, all we need is a D. We need to put a D in there, develop something like, I don't know. But that was
Wonderful.
awesome. I love that. I
Thank
love
you.
that so much. My next question is for Lily. AI can generate answers in seconds, but they aren't always right. Can you share an example of a time when human ethical judgment or critical thinking saved a project from an AI error? Ooh, this is good.
This is good. It was, I was thinking about it, and it's kind of a difficult one because we're always so focused on progress and like the next problem we're trying to solve, and we sometimes don't think about all like the failures we had, and they're always like such good stories there. And I thought of two examples. The first one is that my team developed a conversational interface for sellers at IBM to answer some questions, right, about a new program for our business partners. And this was kind of a Slack bot interface for something like 16,000 IBMers. And so that sounds like simple enough, right, with the latest technologies that are available. The tricky part was that the new program that was just launched and the LLMs, the large language models, they knew about all the old programs that had been running for 10, 15 years, and they had tons of data on those old programs. And so we kept getting answers using the information about the old program instead of the new program. So we had to really think about how do we prompt and fine tune so that we give the sellers the correct information. We don't stray our business partners in the wrong direction. So some real kind of impact if the answer wasn't correct. So that's one example. And then the other, I was talking to one of my team members just yesterday, actually, and I was having her show me how she was using IBM Bob. This is our IBM AI native developer experience to generate some code. And she was doing this as a part of being curious and learning the tool and experimenting. And yes, she was saying the code that was generated fast and the quality looked good. But when it came to executing it, there was still dots that she had to connect in terms of the environment and the libraries that are installed. And so still that human element of software engineering, right? And understanding the big picture of how it all fits together was needed in order to keep things moving.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The next question is for Sonia and Suj. What is the unique value proposition a job seeker with a strong growth mindset offers? And what practical steps can they take to ensure they are consistently engaged in long learning to remain competitive?
Mm,
Sonia?
yeah, thank you. Um, so I I think I'm going to push back a little bit on the term growth mindset. Not that it's not relevant, it definitely is relevant, but I think it's it's just been overused a lot, right? And I think it's becoming a little abstract. And I think what what we're really looking at, and I'm going to pick up on what Lily said about leadership, thinking about it more as a behavior, a practice behavior, and thinking about growth as a behavior, as a demonstrated behavior. So here's what I think growth behavior in practice really looks like. Um, you treat learning and skills like a stock portfolio, just like you would manage your stocks, and you'd have some stocks which are long-term investments, like you're going to hold on to them. They slowly mature and grow. But then you also have some stocks which are volatile, which are quick, where you make a quick win and you sell them and you trade them and you buy something else, right? So you always want to think about your skills portfolio like that stock portfolio, and you keep an eye on it based on what the job, just like you keep an eye on the stock market, you keep an eye on the job market and the kind of skills that the job market is demanding of you. And you always make sure that your skills portfolio is balanced, right? It's balanced with a combination of those tech skills, which are the quick win skills, and the durable skills, which are what are going to hold you instead for the long haul. Another thing that Sood said, like learn publicly, like share things. One of the things you want to really make sure that you're doing is demonstrating learning agility. That is something, especially as entry levels, when we're hiring for people, we're hiring for potential, but we're also hiring for learning agility, because we know people need to be able to pick quick skills and be adaptable and portable, right? So learn publicly, um, and definitely make sure that you're sharing what you're learning, why you're learning, and that is also going to help you learn from others, right? And the third thing that I would say is, in terms of learning from others, is really looking at affinity communities, joining communities where you can learn from others, you can also showcase your own skills. Um, and finally, consistency beats intensity. Don't don't try and go for a sprint. This is a long marathon. Take your time, but keep at it. Lily?
Excellent, excellent advice.
I think
Oh, that
it's,
was for
Oh,
Sue.
Suj.
yeah, yeah. That's great advice. Thank you. And you have reiterated some of the things I was going to say. So thank you. A growth mindset, I totally agree with you. The definition of growth mindset depends on who is setting your goal. I have noticed that, right? So I have decided to set my own goal about growth mindset. So I have landed on two things: continuous learning. Learn continuously and seek feedback and advice from the others, right? And then I'm too eager, so I added one more thing to that, and I said, always be one step ahead. I think it is necessary in these times to be one step ahead, right? Expect what is to come. Instead of constantly learning and catching up, be proactive about your learning and your achievements and so on. So I also want to reiterate the fact that everybody has a different learning style. I know somebody, it is actually my husband, he can read for hours and days without getting tired and actually absorb the content of it. I think he trained himself over a lot of years to do that. Me, on the other side, I have the attention span of an ant. So it doesn't work for me reading and studying for hours together. So what really works for me is the micro learning. So I find areas that I need to learn now, today, and I need to learn for next week or next year. And that's how I plan my learning. But I'm always learning. But when I'm learning, I always follow the rule. I go and implement it, practice it. So I understand the ins and outs of it. Then I can go teach someone about it, right? So I think it's find your pace. Micro learning is not a bad thing. It's actually an excellent thing for people like me and for many of us, right? I also want to draw back on something that was taught to us all the time. It's called SMART. Remember? What was it called? I'm going to look at the definition. It is called
Specific,
specific,
measurable,
measurable,
attainable,
achievable.
realistic, timely.
Exactly. That is a lengthy definition, but I think it's a good one now, right? So a couple of things I want to add on having the longevity of your career. Seek out networking. There are so many professional, I would say, networks that are online and also in your corporations. Reach out, talk to them, tell them about the work that you're doing, learn about the work that they are doing, right? It is an exchange of ideas, it is a brain trust. So, and then you're working so hard, you're spending time and effort. So, put a badge around it. We have so many plans at IBM for badges. Even SkillsBuild has several badges, right? It's a badge of honor of your learning. And the other thing is when you tell someone that you are certified data scientist, you are a certified architect or specialist, people don't question you anymore. They know that you are a certified and experienced person. So invest your time in doing these things, I would say, right? Develop out of the box thinking. So I agree with what Lily and Sonia are saying. Make learning a continuous sport of your lifetime, right? And invest in yourself.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you were already alluding to the next question because, as you know, we're cheerleaders, okay, when it comes down to IBM Skills Build. And so the next question that I have is for you, Sonia. For someone looking at the IBM Skills Build catalog, which specific course or professional skill badge do you think acts as the strongest signal to employers right now?
Um, it's so hard to choose. You're asking me to choose my favorite baby. Um, so let's think about it. Let's go back to my concept of a stock portfolio, right? And so one of the things I would say is table stakes right now, and Suj had alluded to that, is AI literacy and data literacy, right? No matter what you're doing, remember you're all technologists. You might say that you're not a technologist, but you carry a supercomputer in your hands and you use it every single day. So whether you think you're a technologist or not, it may not be your primary career, but you still are. And so I would say definitely AI literacy. And depending on how much you want to use AI, SkillsBuild has a number of courses, right from AI. You can start with exploring emerging tech if you've never done technology, do AI literacy, do the new AI fundamentals, which is a two-part course. We're coming up with AI fluency. There are lots of courses for you to deep dive into AI, whether it's mastering the prompting of AI, data summarization, data classification, like there are tons of courses. But it really depends on what you want to do. But basic data literacy and AI literacy, I would say, is table stakes. Um, the second thing that I would impress upon everyone to do is being intentional about professional skills, right? When we call them professional skills, lifelong skills, durable skills, could be anything. But definitely, I think that is one course that I would impress upon. And the third thing that I would probably pick as something that I think will hold you in good stead no matter what you do is design thinking. Um, and the thing about design thinking is it's a methodology and it really helps you be outcome focused, right? So no matter what you're doing, starting from the end result and then working yourself back to design a solution that is going to serve those outcomes that you're working for is going to help you no matter what you do. Whether you want to say, I want to change my career, and what do I need to do that? Or I want to start a business, and how do I start a business? To I want to plan a wedding, to anything, like pick anything, right? I want to put together a beautiful birthday party for my husband. Anything. If you apply the principles of design thinking, you will always be successful. So if there is, and we've actually just released today a brand new course, which is called Team Essential. I'm going to butcher the name, but it's Team Essentials of AI, where it's thinking about how do you work on a team to build out an AI solution. And it's the second part of design thinking. So those would be my tops: AI literacy, data literacy, professional skills, and design thinking.
So let me just say, I think that you're so funny because you did not choose one of your babies. you, you was like, you can have this baby, and this baby too. I love it. I absolutely love it.
And the
Okay,
husband
Lily,
too.
we have not heard from you in a moment. And so this next
Mm.
question is for you. In an age of automated job applications and AI driven platforms, what are valuable actions that job seekers can take today to foster genuine human connections and community learning for career growth?
You want to go first, Lily?
Yeah, I can do that. I'm reflecting. I've been taking so many notes, and I'm learning
Mm.
so much myself today. So I love the all so many of the themes that we're exploring today. And I think fundamentally, I think even though this question is about genuine human connection, I'm actually going to start out with where like Suj started us off at the top, which is just get your hands dirty with the AI. But then, and then we heard it later on, tell somebody about what you did because you're
Mm.
sharing, right, what you've learned, which is a way to learn it and understand it better when you have to explain it to somebody else. And guess what? At that point, you're fostering some genuine human connections, right? And it kind of builds this beautiful virtuous cycle as well, right? Because that other person you're talking to is you're going to drive some curiosity in them, right? And then they're going to ask you some questions which will drive more curiosity in you. So I think that's kind of number one for me. I think, Suj mentioned meetups and hackathons and local events, like, really be intentional about those. And I think probably what's maybe implicit in that is, and I'd like to make it explicit, right, is talk to strangers. Right?
Mhm.
This is something I've been
Mhm.
like hearing lately about, like, this is becoming a long lost human skill. So, whether you're at that meetup or on a plane, right? Talking to strangers is about improvisation, right? And spontaneity, active engagement in the unknown. This is something I'm personally still working on. But I do encourage everybody else to do so as well. And then I think the third thing I would mention is thinking beyond like the transactional conversations into building relationships, right? So, in that talking to a strangers or in that interview, like how are you going to follow up, right, to really turn that into a more long-lasting relationship? What are the ways that you're going to reach back out to somebody and build on that? So I think those are kind of the three things I would say. Suj, what are you thinking?
Oh, great advice, by the way. Thank you. I will add by saying some of the things that we do at IBM. Personally, what I do with my technical, I work with a lot of, many technical intellectuals. So it is never easy. You cannot do things in a simplistic way, right? So talking about communities of practice, right? So one of the things that is very critical for our technologists at IBM is be technical experts, but also project the eminence at work. Eminence can be giving back, right? Being good at something, sharing knowledge, and all these things come into the picture, like, writing articles, right? Writing even blogs, right? Having a respectful digital presence on LinkedIn and other places where people know about you, right? And this is the big thing, right? You just cannot tell people, particularly the entry-level folks, to go do something. You have to show them the way. And that's what we do. So I help folks who are interested in improving their eminence, or becoming leaders, by helping them to create what we call them the guilds, right? That can be data science guild or ideation guild or architecture guild and so on. You also want to draw them out to get them into that practice of creating regular conversations where you are sharing knowledge, right? We have sessions called Think Thursdays and Think Fridays, where we spend 1 hour to come together, and people sign up to come and present the work that they are doing. In doing so, they are connecting with the external communities, right? The extended communities. So people ask, oh, how did you do that? That's awesome. So let me come and work with you. Or you watch somebody do that you have been struggling to do for 3 hours and you can't, and you can go talk to them, right? There is one more thing that we do when we conduct these sessions it is called the swapping of the leadership. If you are setting up something like that, you don't be leading each and every call. You give everybody in the circle to take lead every week. Now, what happens is you are in a friendly environment, and they get that opportunity to do things that they are uncomfortable to do. And pretty soon it becomes very easy when they arise to that occasion, right? So creating guilds, setting up community activity is, right? You show them how it is done, is what I'm trying to say is very important, right? So those are some of the very successful things that we do. And I want to end with the SkillsBuild experiences, right? I have worked with a couple of universities. It is an amazing experience, right? You can never tell students go do something, because they cannot do it, not because they don't have the intention, but because they have assignments every time. They have to get yes, and right? So how do you draw them out of that routine is by actually coaching them, mentoring them on leveraging newer technologies, taking real problems and solving them, staying with them, staying the course with them. That is not only teaches us how to do it better, but it gives them the experience, but it gives them the assurance that they are not alone in doing these things, right? They can fall back on their mentors, their coaches, etc. So these are some of the things I would like to share.
I absolutely love it. I love it. Y'all, I am going to shift things just a little bit, because can you believe it? We've been together for 49 minutes. I, it doesn't feel like it. That's what happens when you're having a good time. Okay. Time flies. And so I wanted to give our amazing audience an opportunity to be able to glean from your wisdom. They have provided a number of questions that they wanted to hear from you all about. And so I think that we might have enough time for maybe 2 or 3. And so I'll try to do that. And then the last question for all of you. Okay. So first question from the audience. I'm curious how we balance accelerating AI adoption while protecting human intellectual property. Although AI requires a human in the loop approach, how can we protect the human element of intellectual property as we navigate the expansion of AI, Gen AI, and otherwise? I see that smile. You
No,
might
I
as well
said that's a
unmute. Talk
loaded
back to
question. That's
me.
5 questions in one. I would say one day at a time, one step at a time. No, I'm just joking. But I think, don't ever lose the intention, right? It has to be human oversight, right? It has to be human ingenuity that is saved, right? Build the solutions, as I said at the very beginning. I'm going to keep it brief. Identify areas where AI can do it faster, better, more accurately without human errors, right? But at the end of it, every project I do, I make sure either there is human intervention in the middle of the workflow or at the end, definitely at the end, right? It has to be the human expert. Who is the domain expert? Who has the experience? Who has the perception? Who has the knowledge? And all the other human emotions that need to be sometimes be taken into consideration to make those decisions, right? I think I would lead with that. I know there are a lot of other nuances to the question. I will try to answer it maybe via email or some other way. But let's two things. Do not fear AI. Embrace it, but embrace it with the intent that you are shaping it. You make AI work for you. You don't work for AI, right? These are some things that I want you to remember. I hope I could answer her question.
I'd love to add to that actually and
Yes.
build on it, Suj, because I think just to repeat and kind of emphasize a little bit of what you said, right? That human expert in the work that we do at IBM and transforming our workflows, that human expert is still fundamentally important,
Mhm.
right? As a part of that transformation and reimagining new AI first workflows. Um, but at the same time, on this topic, I don't think the answer is written yet. I think we're
Mm.
defining it today. And so like if you're wondering this, then you can be part of the answer. And I think, jumping in and getting our hands dirty and embracing
Mm.
it so that we can truly understand it and that we can define that solution where human IP is protected and that we understand how we decipher human IP from machine generated content and things like that. I think there's still more to be written on that front and decided on that front.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Great responses. Next audience question. What human skills will differentiate professionals in the next 5 to 10 years as AI becomes more integrated in the workplace?
I think we've touched on a lot of them, right? We've touched on critical thinking, we've touched on lifelong learning, adaptability, growth mindset. Um, I think one of the things, I don't know if it's so much as well, I guess it is. I mean, so an aspect of critical thinking is being able to break things down, complex things down into simpler facts. Because remember, one of the biggest opportunities today is to think about a process and figure out what can be simplified, what can be optimized, what can be automated, what can be augmented, right? And in order to do that, you have to have the ability to break down this complex thing into discrete workflows or discrete things. So one is being able to break those down, understand that, break those down.
Mhm.
Uh, and one thing is communication skills. I mean, I know we talked about it, but it's interesting now to be able to get good output from AI, you need to prompt it well, which is a
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
kind of communication,
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I think being able to communicate with AI as well as communicate with people, I think would be a really, really critical human skill to focus on.
I love it. I absolutely love it. With 5 minutes left, I am going to ask you all to give me 90 seconds or less, each of you, for our final question of the hour. Looking forward in 2026, what is the one piece of advice you want to provide to our audience of job seekers in 90 seconds or less?
Okay, I'll go first,
Mhm.
if I may. I will encourage everybody very, very seriously to redefine their role and narrative about what they will do in this year, right? Include AI in it. As I mentioned before, AI literacy is very critical. Data fluency is absolutely critical because they go hand in hand. But what will you do in this era of agentic AI or in this era of generative AI? Play a role in it. And I want all of us to not be consumers of AI, but controllers of AI, right? Think about how you will govern it. If something bad is application of bad AI is happening, don't just complain about it. Be at the forefront and be prepared to correct it, to fix it. What is something that we can do to change it and fix it? So I would say embrace it with safety and responsibility, but also be the important person. All of us have this ownership. There is no just exclusions in this. So let's all be very responsible people to shape the AI that we will use for all of us. So
Thank
change
you.
that narrative, change that resume, and make yourself part of AI.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Sujan. You're getting so much love in the chat. Absolutely. Yes. Who would like to go next?
I'll go. I think my message is simple and similar, I would say. And it's kind of this message of like playing offense rather than defense in the age of AI. And I had a leader that I used to work with, and he used to say, "Be a Viking, not a victim." Right? So
Mm,
like we want to be Vikings when it comes to AI. So it's not about how do I compete with AI. It's like how do I become better, faster with AI. How can I help companies enable their goals together with AI? So that those things that we talked about today, that curiosity, that follow through, right? Double down on those things together with your learning and understanding of the technology.
that was a mic drop moment. Viking, not a victim. Come on, Lily. I love it. Sonia, round us out.
So do all of that and more, but make sure that your resume tells a compelling story. Right. I think there was someone who was talking about project management and said, but it didn't translate on my resume and I didn't know how to make it translate on my resume. So remember, learn, but don't be a credential hoarder. Learn with intention
Mm.
and make sure that what you're learning and the skills portfolio you're developing can articulate a story back to a potential employer balanced with evidence. So you're not only building out a resume with great skills, but you're also building out an asset portfolio that can be used as evidence, right? So if you're a developer, you're building GitHub projects, you're building other things that you can actually show someone, right? And it doesn't, if you're an educator, you're building out creative lesson plans that you can show out. If you're a project manager, like it doesn't matter who you are. Think about your resume as a story that it's telling about you and your portfolio as the evidence of what you have done. So treat learning as a job that you're going to apply to as well as work at, and stop waiting for permission to grow.
Awesome.
Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I'm going to go off script just a little bit to just say thank you all so very much for your time. Today's webinar was record breaking for Career Circle, and we want to break another record by having the most engaged individuals on one webinar. So what you can do to do that is to mark this as complete. There's going to be a link that my colleague is putting into the chat. Mark this as complete. We could get over 300 of you all on this call marked as complete. I want to once again thank you all so much for joining today. I hope you all leave here today feeling empowered and ready to jump into your job search in the new year. We've had so much fun today. Please join us for our upcoming events, including webinars, networking events, and virtual career fairs. You can view all events and register on careercircle.com/events. Again, mark this as complete. We want to break another record today. Thank y'all so much to our amazing panelists. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Until next time, everyone, have a fabulous day. Remember, be a Viking and not a victim. I love it. That is the saying of the day, everyone. Bye-bye.